second one is a dessert, which is tart tatin. So first I will start with the focaccia. Focaccia is a bread from Italy. It is a plain bread. Only thing is, a lot of a variety of toppings can be put on the bread. Like you can put olives, you can put sun-dried tomatoes. It's slightly a salty bread. Actually, this bread, it traveled. It spread with the Romans to Spain, Italy, Greece, and it became very popular. In their language, in the Roman language, it is called panis focaccis. Panis in their language means bread, and focaccis means fireplace. Now we are going to start with the bread. So what we will do is, we have to take 250. I'll just explain the ingredients first. Here I am going to take 250 grams of flour. Then we have sugar, which is 10 grams. Then we have yeast, which is again 10 grams here, and salt 5 grams. And here, this is a mixture which was made yesterday. It's olive oil. In the olive oil, we have put some dried herbs and garlic. Okay, the flavor is going to be imparted by the garlic and the herbs, and obviously we are going to use water to make the dough. I am going to, after the dough is made, I am going to place the dough in a glass bowl, because as this room is, the temperature is quite low here, we will keep it outside and at about 28 to 29 degrees centigrade. So I will start, and of course we need a tin here afterwards to bake the focaccia. So I will start. First I will put the flour on the table. Then sugar. All this you have been doing all the time in the first year. Yeast. And water. Don't play with the yeast and the sugar. Add water. You will see fine air bubbles here, small air bubbles, which is an indication that the yeast is good and it's going to work well. Keep adding water. It has to be a soft dough. You have to be very quick while making the dough. Within 7 to 8 minutes, your dough has to be ready. Can't keep playing with the dough. Don't use the dough scraper in the beginning. First get everything together. Now you can use the dough scraper just to clean your hand. Remove whatever is stuck to your fingers using a dough scraper. No rubbing your hands together. And then you can bring all this together with the help of a dough scraper and knead. The most important thing while making a dough is that you have to knead the dough very well. Use all your strength. Now as I am kneading, I realize that I need a little more water. Initially I used 150 ml of water, but I think I need a little more water, so I am going to add some water here. It has to be a soft dough. Remember one thing, the focaccia is not going to rise like our normal bread. It's going to be slightly flat bread, for the simple reason that we are using raw garlic in this. Raw garlic, it prevents the yeast from rising, because there is an enzyme which is present in the garlic which is called allicin, and it prevents the yeast from functioning properly. Can you see? Nice and soft. Now the dough has started sticking to my hand, which is an indication that I have to stop for kneading. Get everything together. One last time before I add the salt and the oil. Can you see how soft it is? Absolutely, very soft. Then I am going to add salt and a little bit of the same oil here, which is olive oil. 10 ml. Just cream the oil and the salt and incorporate it into the dough. That's it. Again, it has started sticking. Stop. I'm going to round it up. And I'm going to place it in this bowl here. I told you why. I'm just going to put a little oil here. And round it up. Make a tight ball. And you see the surface, smooth surface, absolutely smooth surface. This is how it's going to be. And then we put in the tin, in the bowl. And we will keep it covered with a wet cloth. Okay, now our focaccia dough is proving. And we'll now start with the tarte tatin. Tarte tatin is from France, okay, and it was invented by the Tartin sisters. These sisters, they owned a hotel called Hotel Tartin in a place called La Motte-Nouveauron, which is about 169 kilometers from France, from Paris, south of Paris. Now this tarte tatin actually was invented by mistake. What had happened there was that there were two sisters who were managing the hotel. They just lost their father, and the two sisters, Stephanie and Caroline, they were managing the hotel. On a particular day, which was a hunting day, Stephanie was hard pressed for time, and therefore, when she put the apples in butter and sugar to caramelize to make the tart, she forgot about it. And then because she was so overworked, she just rolled out the pastry and pastry dough and put it over the apples and put it in the oven. And when she served it to the guests upside down, they enjoyed the tart so much that from then on they said that we want it to be served this way, and it became their signature dish. That was in the year 1888. Okay. So having said that, we will start with our tarte tatin now. The ingredients here, if you can see, we have divided into 3 sections here. First, I am going to make a sweet paste. Okay, these ingredients are for the sweet paste. Now, what are the ingredients? Here we have 35 grams of icing sugar. We are using icing sugar because the liquid which we are going to add is very less. Whereby if we add powdered sugar, it will not dissolve. Therefore, we are using icing sugar. Here we have 75 grams of margarine. You can use butter. Then we have 100 grams of flour, and this is 1 egg. We might not need the whole egg. We will see the texture of the sweet paste and then we will decide. And because we are using an egg, we are going to add some vanilla essence. So if you actually go to see the recipe, we could see 1, 2, 3. 1 is icing sugar, 1 part is icing sugar, 2 parts are margarine and 3 parts are flour, and then of course there's 1 egg here. So these are ingredients for the sweet paste. If you don't want to use a sweet paste, you can use short crust pastry also. You can use puff pastry also. But here in college, we are using sweet paste. Okay. Basically, it's like a cookie dough. Okay, it's like a cookie dough. Then here we have another section here, where as you can see, I have kept the tin here. It's a cake tin, and I have kept 30 grams of grain sugar. I'm going to caramelize this sugar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the sugar here. And I'm going to put some water here. Why I'm putting water is I want the sugar to dissolve so that caramelization will take place a little faster. Okay. So I have just added sugar, 30 grams of sugar, and you can see about 15 ml of water. So that is for the caramelization of the sugar in the cake tin. Then here is the filling for the tart. We have taken 300 grams of apples here. So we have got 2 apples. If the apples are small, you might need 3 apples. So here we have 30 grams of kishmish or sultanas, which are cleaned and kept, removed the stem and kept. Then here we have sugar, demerara sugar, about 30-35 grams, because we will not be using too much of sugar because the apples are sweet and we already have so much of sugar which is added here in the tin. And then of course with apples you would like to add some flavoring, which is the cinnamon powder here. Okay, so first we are going to start with the sweet paste. Now for the sweet paste, I am going to do the sweet paste or make the sweet paste in this glass bowl so that you can see. Basically it's a creaming method. Okay, here we don't have to cream it too much, we're just bringing everything together. So I'm going to put the margarine and I'm going to use a wooden spoon just to smoothen it out a little or soften it up. Okay. Just cream it up a little bit, and then we will add the sugar. We'll add it in 2 parts because it's just 35 grams of sugar. So I'm using a spatula here, just I have added the second lot of the icing sugar also, and I have creamed it. As I mentioned to you, you don't have to do too much of creaming. Okay, just a little bit. Now we'll add a little bit of the egg. Maybe I've just broken the egg here and beaten it up a little bit. I will add vanilla essence and mix. And then add I'm adding half the egg, because if you add the full egg, what's going to happen is you might have difficulty in handling the dough. Now obviously it's not getting mixed properly, so I'll add a little bit of the flour. Add a little bit more of the egg, again half of the half. So I have 1/4 egg left here, and I'm going to add all the flour. This is 100 grams of flour, and I'm going to just bring everything together now. If I feel that the texture is a little too stiff, I will add a little more egg. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hand to bring everything together. Yes, this is perfect. I don't think I require that little bit of egg which is there in the, I think 1/4 of the egg is balanced. Now what I'm going to do is, just after bringing everything together, then I'm going to roll it out. Because I told you it's an upside down tart. So therefore, by the time I prepare this filling here, this will rest in the fridge. I'll keep this on the side, and then I have a GP paper here, a square piece of GP paper, and I'm going to roll this. I'm going to take a little dusting cloth. Just sprinkle a little dusting cloth over this, and then pick this up. That's it. Just round it up. Now why we are doing this on the GP paper? Because we are making our life easy, okay? You will realize it when you are going to place it on the over the apples. It makes it easier for us to take it out. Okay, here we go. Very lightly you just roll it. Light strokes. What is the size going to be? The size is going to be the size of the cake tin, okay? The circumference of the cake tin. The thickness has to be even all around. Yes. Yeah, that's fine. Can you see the circumference is the size of the tin? Now I am going to place this in the fridge. Okay, then we are going to start with the caramelization of the sugar. We will go to the gas range, and we will now what I am doing is I have switched on the gas, and I have kept this water and sugar to caramelize. Can you see the sugar also has dissolved quite a bit, so it will be faster. Okay, because if I put the sugar and then add water and start right now, it's going to take time. So that's why I have just added water. Say about 15-20 minutes back I showed it to you. Then you will need a pair of tongs. Without the tongs you can't work here because this is going to really heat up a lot. You have to get the right color. If you get a very light color, then the tartan looks very insipid. And if you burn the caramel, then it's going to taste bitter. So it is a little dicey. You have to get the right color. So what we should be doing is, we should keep a bowl of water here, tap water, and once you are happy with the color, immediately dip the tin in water, the base of the tin in water, so that the internal temperature of the sugar drops down and you will get the right color or the color you want. Changing, sugar is getting caramelized. Now here we have kept a bowl of water also. So I told you I'm going to, once I get the right color, I'm happy with the color, I'm going to dip it in the hot water, only the base of the tin. You have to keep rotating this, okay? That's why we need a pair of tongs. I told you cannot use a duster here. You need a pair of tongs because you have to keep rotating this sugar, caramelized sugar. Don't be in a hurry, because if the color is not perfect, the tart tartan will not taste that yum. Also, you should not get burnt. Yeah, this is what I want. Can you see the color? Okay, now I am going to just dip the base in water. This is the color. Okay. Okay, now the sugar is caramelized and I have kept it on the side. Now it is cooled down. Okay, because we had put it in water. Now apples are peeled and now I am going to cut the apple. Okay. As far as possible, try and get Golden Delicious, Granny Smith, apples which have a very firm body. Okay. Be very careful with your hand and should not get cut. Fingers, be careful with your fingers. Okay. After this, I'm going to cut the apple in a slant. Okay. If you see the knife, how it's going in a slant. Not too thin, I will just show you. Let me cut this apple. The beauty is how you arrange it, okay? Because it's going to be turned upside down. So therefore, now what we will be doing is, I'll just show you how to arrange, okay? Can you see the thickness? Not too thick, not too thin. If it is too thin, it will stick to the sugar, okay? So therefore, you have to be very careful, and when you're cutting, thickness has to be just right. Okay, now I'll cut the rest of the apple and I'm finally arranging it. I'll just show it to you, okay? Now what we are going to do, we have finished arranging all the good slices here. Now we have come to the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift up this apple here and I'm going to push this apple here. Push this slice here, and that is it. So we have covered the base properly. Now in the center here, what we will do is we'll arrange some small apples. Small slices, sorry, not apples, slices. Just to cover up the center. After that, what we'll do is we will just put cinnamon, sultanas, and sprinkle it here. Demerara sugar. If you find it's too sweet, you can reduce the sugar a little bit. And last but not the least, we are going to sprinkle some be very careful, not too much, not too less. Now what we'll do is, now these apples which are here, which are ballots, we will just put it anyhow. You don't have to do any arrangement here. Now you have to be very careful that you don't make a mound of apples in the center. Spread it evenly. It should be flat. Okay. Now we'll go back to a sweet paste which we made sometime back. I kept it in the fridge. Now what we will do is we will just pick this up turn it upside down here. Now, after you have it has become slightly stiff, okay? You press it nicely. Okay. Now with your fingers, what you are going to do is you are going to push this dough slightly inside. Why I am doing this? Because we are going to turn this tart on a plate afterwards. So we want the juices to remain within the tart. So therefore you kind of make a border, you can say, a raised portion of the sweet paste. Again, press it nicely, and then we will apply egg wash. We have taken the full egg, yolk and the white, both just beaten up a little bit, and we will apply this. Actually, this is optional, okay? Because this is going to be turned upside down. So even if you get a good color for your tart, it is not going to be seen. So that's why I am saying it is optional. Only see that you don't go right up to the end, otherwise the sweet paste will stick to the tin. And then we are going to prick it with a fork. For the simple reason is we want the steam to escape. That's it. Now we are going to bake it at about 180 degrees centigrade for 25 to 30 minutes, and then I'll show you after it is. Now we are going to put it in the oven at 180 degrees centigrade. First let me just open the oven. And push it inside. We'll look at it after about 20-25 minutes. Our tart tartan is in the oven. Now what, can you see this? Our focaccia dough, so beautifully risen. Just look at this. Look at the bubbles, air bubbles. Okay, what now I am going to do is, I am going to put this 80 ml of oil, olive oil, along with the garlic and the herbs. Now I am going to use my hand and I am going to spread this out. Olive oil is very expensive, so you can't be wasting the olive oil. So what we will do is, we are going to use the same olive oil to grease the sides also. Okay, I have spread the garlic like this. Now what I am going to do is, I am going to pick up this dough and put it into the look at the gluten strands. Can you see? Spread this dough into the tin properly. Now what I am going to do is, see, because all the garlic and the herbs are at the base, I am going to lift this up like this, and I am going to turn it upside down. What we will do now is, we will fold this focaccia like this into 3 folds, and then turn it upside down again. Why are we doing this? Because we want the herbs and the garlic to get inside the
into the dough properly. At this point of time, you can rest the dough. If you have the time, you can rest the dough, because this we are going to do 4 times. Okay, so if you want, we can rest it. Can you see it's not stretching so easily? But since we have to finish this in time, I'm going to do the second fold also now, and again turn it, and then I'll just stretch it. It won't get stretched, but let me see. I'll try my best. Because the gluten has lost its elasticity, that's why it is not getting stretched very easily. Okay. Okay, now I'll leave it at that. I will keep it in the prover at 30 degrees centigrade for it to ferment. And then again I will just fold it one more time to show it to you. Now clean your hands with the help of a dough scraper. See that you don't waste any oil. And then we prove this.
Okay, now our tart tatin is ready. Okay, just take it out.
Okay, this is how it looks. Now we have to demold it when it is hot. So I will just go and demold it on a clean plate. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to loosen the edges. Now today we have used apples here. You can use pineapple, you can use pears, or you can use a combination of fruits. Tastes very good. Okay. Okay, now I have loosened everything. After that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a plate on top of this. Now we have to be very, very careful. Otherwise, what's going to happen is it might just slip and fall. So hold the tin and the plate properly like this. Can you see how I've held it? And then I'm going to flip it very carefully. See that you have kept the tart tatin in the center, and then don't lift it vigorously, very carefully, just now as you can see we have 2-3 apples which are stuck here. Just pick it up carefully and arrange it. This is tart tatin for you. Now what we will do is we will just cool it down to room temperature. Then we will cut it into 6 wedges and we are going to garnish it with cream and serve. Okay. We have finished with the foldings now. We folded it 4 times, the 3-fold, we did it 4 times. Now I am just making holes here a little bit. We will now prove this, and then what we are going to do is we are going to sprinkle some sea salt and we are going to arrange some black olives on this, and then we are going to bake it at 200 degrees centigrade for about 25 to 30 minutes. Okay. So again I am going to rest this. I am going to allow it to ferment, and then you can bake this. Okay. So this is how it's going to look before proving, and then I will just show you once it is
Our tart tatin has come down to room temperature. Now we will just cut it into wedges. Okay.
I'm cutting into 8 wedges. So here we go again. You can cut it into 6, you can cut it into 8. But you cannot cut a warm tart tatin, okay? It has to come down to room temperature. After that, we will just pick up one. And we will place it on the we will put a swirl of cream. that is how it's going to be served. Okay, now if you can see the focaccia has proved. Now I told you in the beginning that this is not going to prove really well like a normal bread roll or bread because of the garlic which is added here. Then we are going to place these olives. I have cut it into 3 and I'll just arrange it. You can also use, I told you, sun-dried tomatoes, but no cheese, etc. Okay, that is not an authentic focaccia. You can't be grating some cheese on top of this because then it's not authentic. If you want to call it if you want to make an authentic focaccia, this is all we are going to add here. Okay, after that we are going to sprinkle some sea salt here, not too much. This is sea salt, jada namak as we call it. That's it. Don't put too much, otherwise you will not be able to eat it. It will become too salty. This is how we are going to now bake it at 200 degrees centigrade for 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, now I put it in the oven. I told you the temperature 200 for 25 to 30 minutes. In it goes, okay? Put it right inside. Okay, now I'm just going to check the bread whether it's done. I think it's more than half an hour. Let me have a look at this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to first loosen the sides. Then to lift it and place it on the chopping board. It's hot, so what I'll do is I'll wait for some time and then I will cut it and I will show it to you.